The massive space station floated like a metal city among the stars. Ships from hundreds of worlds docked at its ports every day. But today was different. Today, the entire galaxy was watching. Hannah stepped off the Earth transport ship and looked around. The docking bay was huge. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved past her. Some had 4 arms. Others had scales that sparkled under the bright lights. A few floated in the air without touching the ground. "Stay close," said Captain Park Jimin. He walked beside Hannah, his Earth military uniform standing out among all the alien clothing. "This place can be confusing for first-time visitors." Hannah nodded. She was small compared to most beings here. At 25 years old, she looked like any normal human woman. Her black hair was tied back in a simple ponytail. She wore plain clothes and carried only a small bag. No one would guess she was the most feared fighter in the galaxy. "There she is!" someone shouted in the crowd. Aliens began to point and whisper. Some laughed. Others shook their heads. "She looks so weak," said a tall blue alien with 6 eyes. "How did this tiny human win so many fights?" asked another, with wings and sharp teeth. Hannah ignored the comments. She had heard them all before. 3 years ago, she had entered the Galactic Combat Federation tournament as an unknown fighter from Earth. Everyone thought she would lose in the first round. Instead, she won every single match. Now, she was the champion. And today, 3 specially trained warriors would try to take her title away. Commander Kong Daeho met them at the station entrance. His face was serious. "The whole galaxy is talking about this fight," he said. "The betting odds are 1,000 to 1 against you." "Good," Hannah said quietly. "I like surprises." They walked through long hallways filled with shops and restaurants. Aliens stopped eating to stare at Hannah. News reporters followed them with floating cameras. The lights flashed as they took pictures. "Miss Lee," called a reporter with purple skin and tentacles for hair. "How do you feel about fighting 3 opponents at once?" "Are you scared?" asked another reporter, this one covered in green fur. Hannah stopped walking. The crowd grew quiet. Even the other humans looked nervous. "No," she said simply. "I am not." "Scared?" That was all she said. But something in her voice made the aliens step back. They reached the main viewing area. Through the huge windows, they could see the combat arena being prepared below. The fighting space was enormous. Energy barriers glowed around the edges. Gravity generators hummed as workers tested them. "The arena can simulate any environment," Jimin explained to the news cameras. "Desert planets, ice worlds, even zero gravity. The fighters never know what conditions they will face." In another part of the station, the 3 alien champions were getting ready. They had trained for 3 years for this moment. Their teacher was Master Vexstar, the greatest combat instructor in the Altarian Empire. Krixvan was from the planet Sol. He looked like a giant lizard that walked on 2 legs. His scales were black and green. Cybernetic implants covered his arms and legs, making him faster and stronger. Poison glands in his neck could spray deadly acid. His claws could cut through steel. Tholma came from the crystal world of Vorth. His body was made of living diamond. He could control gravity around him, making enemies heavy or light as he wished. His skin was harder than any armor. Weapons broke when they hit him. Yexera was from the insect planet Mandrak. She had 4 arms, each one as strong as a human's whole body. Her compound eyes could see in all directions at once. Wings let her fly around the battlefield. Her spit was acid that could melt metal. All 3 had studied every recording of Hannah's fights. They knew her moves, her timing, her favorite attacks. Computer programs had analyzed her fighting style down to the smallest detail. "The human's winning streak ends today," Master Vexstar told the galactic news networks. "My students have gone beyond their natural limits. They are perfect fighting machines now." The betting houses on 1,000 worlds were taking money from aliens who thought the 3 champions would win easily. After all, how could one small human beat 3 enhanced warriors? In the Earth section of the station, things were much quieter. Hannah sat in a simple chair, reading an old book. Her team was tiny compared to the alien support crews. She had only 2 people helping her. Kim Minho was her oldest friend. They had grown up in the same neighborhood on Earth. He became her coach when she started fighting. He was not a scientist or a military officer. He just understood how Hannah thought. Dr. Yoon Jie was a sports doctor. She made sure Hannah stayed healthy and strong. But she did not give Hannah strange medicines or cybernetic parts like the alien fighters used. "Are you ready?" Minho asked. Hannah looked up from her book. It was her grandfather's journal about old martial arts. The pages were yellow and worn. "Yes," she said. "I have been ready for a long time." The arena filled with spectators. 50,000 aliens took their seats. Screens all over the galaxy showed the same view. This would be the most watched fight in history. Arena director Quoteth stepped into the center of the fighting space. He was tall and thin with silver skin that reflected the lights. "Citizens of the galaxy," his voice boomed through speakers. "Today, we witness history. 3 enhanced warriors, trained for 3 years by the greatest combat master alive, will face the human champion, Lee Hannah." The crowd cheered. Most of them were cheering for the alien fighters. "The rules are simple," Quoteth continued. "Last fighter standing wins. All weapons and abilities are allowed. The fight continues until surrender or unconsciousness." In the preparation rooms, the 3 champions were putting on their final equipment. Krixvan tested his poison glands. Tholma practiced his gravity control. Yexera stretched her forearms and flexed her wings. Meanwhile, Hannah put on simple fighting clothes and her grandfather's old gloves. They were made of leather and cloth. Nothing special about them at all. "Remember," Minho said quietly, "they trained to beat what they think you are, but they do not know what you really are." Hannah smiled. It was a small smile, but it made her look dangerous for just a moment. The time had come. The greatest fight in galactic history was about to begin. 3 years earlier, on the planet Alteria, Master Vexstar watched the final match of the Galactic Combat Tournament on his viewing screen. A small human woman named Lee Hannah had just defeated the reigning champion. The crowd was shocked. Number 1 had expected her to win. "Impossible," Vexter whispered. His 4 eyes studied every movement Hannah made. She moved differently from other fighters. Where others used force, she used timing. Where others attacked directly, she moved around her enemies. That day, Vexstar made a decision that would change his life. He would train 3 perfect warriors. Their only goal would be to defeat this human. The Alterian Combat Academy was the best training facility in the galaxy. Students came from hundreds of worlds to learn from Master Vexstar, but now, he only wanted 3 pupils. First came Krixvan from Sarok. He was already a skilled fighter, but Vexstar wanted more. "Your natural body is not enough," the master told him. "We must make you better than nature intended." The surgeries took months. Doctors replaced Krixvan's bones with metal alloy. They put computer chips in his brain to speed up his reflexes. His muscles were injected with synthetic fibers that made him 10 times stronger. Poison glands were grown in his throat using samples from the deadliest creatures in the galaxy. "Now you move faster than any human eye can follow," Vexter said after the final surgery. "Your claws can cut through spaceship holes. Your poison can kill in seconds." Krixvan tested his new abilities. He punched through a steel wall without even trying hard. His enhanced vision could see in complete darkness. When he moved at full speed, he became a blur. "Good," said Vexter. "But speed is not enough. You must also think faster." They downloaded every recording of Hannah's fights into Krixvan's cybernetic brain. Computer programs analyzed her movements frame by frame. They found patterns in how she stepped, how she breathed, how she positioned her hands. "She always moves left before attacking," the computer told Krixvan through his neural implant. "She favors kicks over punches by 67%. Her recovery time, after a spinning attack, is 1.3 seconds. Krixvan memorized it all. He practiced fighting holographic copies of Hannah well, until he could predict her every move. Next came Tholma from Vorth. His crystal body was already nearly indestructible. But Vextar wanted perfection. Humans are clever, the master explained. They find weaknesses where others see only strength. Scientists studied Thalma's crystal structure. They found tiny flaws, microscopic cracks that could be exploited. One by one, they fixed these weaknesses. They grew new crystal layers that were harder than diamond. They installed gravity generators inside his body. Your skin is now perfect, Vextar announced. No weapon in the galaxy can harm you. And with gravity control, you can crush enemies or make them float helplessly. Thalma practiced in special chambers. He learned to make gravity so heavy that practice robots were crushed flat. He could make gravity so light that opponents floated like balloons. His crystal body could survive in space, underwater, or in the hottest fires. The computers analyzed Hannah's fighting style for Thalma too. She uses enemy strength against them, the data showed. But she cannot redirect what she cannot move. Make yourself too heavy to be thrown, too strong to be stopped. Thalma spent months learning to fight with variable gravity. He could make his punches incredibly heavy while keeping his movements light and fast. It was like having the power of a planet in his fists. Last came Yexara from Mandrake. She was already a deadly warrior with 4 arms and acid spit. But Vextar pushed her beyond her natural limits. Insects adapt quickly, he told her, but this human adapts faster than any creature should be able to. We must make you adapt instantly. Genetic engineers worked on Yexara's compound eyes. Now she could see in all directions at once. Her brain was enhanced to process multiple attack patterns simultaneously. Her 4 arms could work completely independently, each one fighting a different opponent. Her acid was made stronger. It could now melt through the toughest armor in seconds. Her wings were reinforced with carbon fibers, making her faster in the air than most spacecraft. The human defeated opponents by confusing them. The analysis programs told Yexara, she makes them focus on one attack while preparing another. But you can see everything at once. She cannot surprise you. Yexara practiced fighting multiple enemies at the same time. Her 4 arms moved in perfect coordination while her eyes watched for threats from every angle. She could spit acid with perfect accuracy while flying at maximum speed. All 3 warriors trained together under Master Vextar's guidance. They fought each other thousands of times. They battled holograms of Hannah until they knew her style better than she did herself. Watch, Vextar would say as they studied the recordings. See how she moves. The human thinks she is unpredictable, but everything follows patterns. We have found those patterns. The master was confident. How could one unenhanced human defeat 3 perfect warriors? It was impossible. While the alien champions transformed themselves into living weapons, Hannah's preparation was very different. She lived in a small apartment in Seoul with her grandmother. Every morning she woke up early and went for a run in the nearby park. She did not run fast. She did not push herself to exhaustion. She just ran at a comfortable pace and enjoyed the sunrise. After her run, she practiced forms in her backyard. These were ancient movements her grandfather had taught her when she was young. They looked like a slow dance more than combat training. Her neighbors often watched from their windows, but they just saw a young woman moving peacefully in the morning air. Her coach Minho would visit in the afternoons. They did not watch recordings of alien fighting styles. Instead, they talked about life, about balance, about understanding. Fighting is not about being stronger, Minho would say. It is about being present in the moment. When you are truly present, you see what others miss. Dr. Juye checked Hannah's health once a week. No cybernetic enhancements, no genetic modifications, no performance drugs, just a healthy human body kept in good condition. The medical scanners show you are completely normal, Dr. Dewey would report. Your reflexes, strength, and speed are all within human limits. Hannah would nod. Good, I want to stay human. In the evenings, Hannah read her grandfather's journal. The old book was full of wisdom about martial arts, but also about life. One passage she read often: the hard defeats the soft defeats the hard. but the wise defeat both by understanding when to be hard and when to be soft. As the fight date approached, reporters asked Hannah about her training. They wanted to know about her secret weapons, her special techniques, her enhanced abilities. "I wake up early," she would tell them. "I practice basic movements. I read old books. That is my preparation." The reporters laughed. They thought she was joking or trying to hide her real training methods. How could such simple preparation compete with 3 years of advanced enhancement? But Hannah was not joking. Her preparation was exactly what she said it was, and it was exactly what she needed. The night before the fight, Master Vexstar gave his final speech to his 3 champions. "Tomorrow, you will show the galaxy that proper preparation defeats natural talent. You are no longer the beings you were born as. You are perfect weapons designed for one purpose." That same night, Hannah sat quietly in her room on the space station. She was not nervous or excited. She was simply present, ready for whatever tomorrow would bring. The galaxy was about to learn that there are different kinds of preparation. And sometimes, the simplest kind is the most dangerous. The day of the fight arrived like thunder across the galaxy. Every news channel broadcast the same images. Every betting house took final wagers. Children skipped school to watch. Workers left their jobs early. Even the Galactic Council stopped their meetings to see what would happen. The combat arena was a masterpiece of engineering. It stretched 300 meters in every direction. The floor could change from metal to sand to ice within seconds. Gravity generators could make fighters feel light as feathers or heavy as stones. Energy barriers surrounded the fighting space, strong enough to contain explosions from starship weapons. Arena Director Quoteth stood in the control room. Above the fighting floor, his silver fingers danced over holographic controls, testing every system one final time. "Temperature controls working," he announced to his crew. "Gravity generators working. Environmental systems working. Energy barriers at full strength." Below him, maintenance robots finished preparing the arena surface. Today, it would start as simple metal flooring, but during the fight, it could become anything. Desert sand that burned the feet. Ice so slippery that normal movement was impossible. Even pools of liquid that fighters could sink into. The spectator sections filled with beings from across the known galaxy. 50,000 seats, and every one was taken. The cheapest tickets had cost more money than most people made in a year. The expensive seats near the arena floor cost as much as a small spaceship in the VIP section. Government leaders and military commanders took their places. The Altarian Emperor sat in a throne made of crystallized starlight. The Sarak Warchief wore his finest battle armor. The Mandrak Queen's compound eyes glittered as she looked down at the arena floor. "This fight will decide more than just a championship," the Emperor said to those around him. "It will show whether human luck can defeat proper preparation." "Luck," laughed the Warchief. "That is all humans have ever had. Today, their luck runs out." In the regular seating areas, aliens of all kinds found their places. Some had traveled for months just to be here. They carried signs supporting the 3 champions. They wore clothing in the colors of their favorite fighters. "Crixvan will tear her apart," shouted a group of young Sarok Tholma's crystal skin cannot be broken. Called out a family of Vorthan traders. 4 arms beat 2 arms, chanted a section of Mandrak workers. But scattered throughout the crowd were small groups of humans. They sat quietly, not making noise or holding signs. They just watched and waited in the preparation chambers beneath the arena. The final moments before battle began, Crixvan stood before a mirror, admiring his enhanced body. His black and green scales reflected the bright lights. His implants hummed with power. His claws extended and retracted as he tested them. All systems operating at peak efficiency, reported his medical team. Poison glands fully loaded. Neural enhancement at maximum. "You are ready," Crixvan nodded. 3 years of pain and surgery had led to this moment. He was no longer the fighter who had started this journey. He was something better, something perfect. The human speed advantage is gone, he told himself. My reflexes are faster than any natural being. She cannot surprise me. In the next chamber, Thalma meditated in his own way. His crystal body sat motionless, but inside, gravity fields swirled and danced. He could feel the weight of the entire space station around him. With concentration, he could make any part of the arena as heavy as a planet or as light as empty space. Your crystalline structure shows no flaws, his science team reported. Gravity control is calibrated perfectly. The human strength techniques will be useless against you. Thalma opened his diamond-like eyes. Light refracted through them like rainbows. He had studied every way Hannah had ever thrown an opponent. But you cannot throw what you cannot lift. And today, he would make himself immovable. In the third chamber, Yexera hung upside down from the ceiling, all four arms moving in complex patterns. Her compound eyes tracked multiple practice targets at once. Her enhanced brain processed dozens of attack scenarios simultaneously. Reaction time is 0.0-0-3 seconds, her trainers announced. Acid potency at lethal levels. Wing speed optimal. You are the perfect predator. Yexera's mandibles clicked together in what passed for a smile among her people. The human fought by making enemies focus on the wrong thing. But Yexera could focus on everything at once. There would be no surprises today. Master Vexstar visited each of his students one final time. Remember your training, he told them. You have studied this human for 3 years. You know her every move, her every trick. She is just one small fighter against 3 perfect weapons. In the human preparation area, the scene was very different. Hannah sat quietly on a simple bench. She wore plain fighting clothes, reinforced pants, and a comfortable shirt. No armor, no special equipment, no glowing technology. Her only weapons were her grandfather's old fighting gloves, worn smooth by decades of use. How do you feel? Asked Dr. Jige as she checked Hannah's pulse one last time. Normal, Hannah replied, and her heartbeat was calm and steady. Her breathing was relaxed. She looked like someone preparing for a morning jog. Not the most important fight in galactic history, Minho knelt beside her. Do you want to review? Anything watch? Any recordings? Hannah shook her head. I have seen enough. Now I need to see with my own eyes. Captain Jimin entered the preparation room. His face showed the stress that Hannah did not feel. The entire galaxy is watching, he said. Earth's reputation rides on this fight. No, Hannah said softly. Earth's reputation rides on much more than one fight, but I will do my best. She stood up and stretched. Her movements were simple and natural. No enhanced reflexes made her blur with speed. No cybernetic strength made her break the equipment around her. She was just human. Time to go, announced an arena official through the speakers. The 4 fighters left their preparation chambers at the same time. They walked through different tunnels that led to the arena floor. Thousands of cameras followed their every step. The crowd noise grew louder as the tunnels opened. First came Crixfan, his enhanced form, moving with inhuman grace. The Sarok sections of the crowd cheered wildly. His scales gleamed under the arena lights. His cybernetic eyes scanned the crowd with mechanical precision. Next came each step making the metal floor ring like a bell. His crystal body caught the light and threw rainbows across the arena walls. The Vorthan spectators chanted his name. Gravity rippled around him like heat waves. Yexera flew out of her tunnel. Her forearms spread wide and her wings beating powerful strokes. She circled the arena once before landing, showing off her aerial abilities. The Mandrak sections buzzed with excitement in their insect language. Finally, Hannah walked out of the human tunnel. The arena fell quiet for a moment. After seeing 3 enhanced super warriors, the crowd was shocked by how ordinary she looked. She was small and simple, and completely normal. Then the laughter started. Aliens throughout the stadium began to chuckle. Then laugh, then roar with amusement. How could this tiny human compete with the magnificent creatures they had just seen? She looks like a child. Someone called out. Where are her enhancements? Asked another. This will be over in seconds. But in the small human sections, there was no laughter. The humans watched quietly, their faces serious. They knew something the aliens did not. Arena director Quoteth raised his arms for silence. The laughter died down as his voice echoed through the space. Citizens of the galaxy. Today, we witness the ultimate test of preparation versus adaptation. In one corner, 3 warriors enhanced beyond natural limits, trained by the greatest combat master in known space. The alien sections cheered. In the other corner, the human champion Lee Hanna, representing the species that surprised us all 3 years ago. The human sections applauded politely. Quoteth explained the rules one final time. The battle continues until only one fighter remains conscious. All abilities, all weapons, all tactics are permitted. The arena environment may change without warning. He looked at each fighter in turn. Do you understand the rules? All 4 nodded. Are you ready to begin? Crixvan extended his claws and hissed. Tholma made the air around him shimmer with gravity fields. Yexera spread her forearms and bared her acid-dripping fangs. Hanna simply stood in the center of the arena, her hands at her sides, breathing normally. The contrast could not have been more dramatic. 3 monsters of technology and enhancement against one quiet human woman. Then let the battle begin, Quoteth announced. A horn sounded across the arena. The fight was starting, but Hanna did not move. She stood perfectly still, watching her 3 opponents with calm eyes. She was waiting for them to make the first move. She was waiting to show the galaxy what humans really were. The horn's echo faded into silence. 50,000 spectators held their breath. Across the galaxy, billions of beings leaned forward to watch their screens. For one heartbeat, nobody moved. Then Crixvan struck first. His cybernetic enhancements kicked in with a whir of machinery. His enhanced muscles launched him forward faster than a bullet. To the crowd, he became a black and green blur racing across the arena floor. His claws extended, ready to tear through human flesh. Too easy, he thought, as he closed the distance. His computer brain had calculated Hanna's position, her likely escape routes, her defensive options. She had nowhere to go. But Hanna was not there anymore. She had not run away. She had not jumped to the side. Instead, she had stepped forward into Crixvan's attack path, but she moved at exactly the right moment. In exactly the right way, Crixvan's claws whistled through empty air where Hanna had been a split second before. His enhanced reflexes tried to compensate, tried to change direction mid-attack, but his own speed worked against him. He was moving too fast to stop. Hanna's hand touched his wrist as he passed. It was the gentlest touch, barely a brush of fingers. But it was perfectly timed and perfectly placed. Crixvan's momentum carried him forward. But now his trajectory was wrong. Hanna had not stopped his attack. She had simply adjusted it. Redirected it. His own cybernetic strength sent him tumbling across the arena floor. He crashed into something solid and crystalline. Tholma, 8 seconds, said the official timekeeper. The crystal warrior had been preparing his gravity attack when Crixvan slammed into him. Both fighters went down in a tangle of scales and diamond-hard limbs. Crixvan's cybernetic implants sparked where they hit Tholma's unbreakable skin. Impossible. Master Vexstar shouted from his viewing booth. Crixvan's speed was inhuman. How did she react so quickly? But the humans in the crowd were not surprised. They had seen this before. Hanna did not fight speed with speed. She fought speed with timing. Yexera saw her chance. While the 2 male fighters untangled themselves, she launched into the air. Her forearms spread wide, each one holding a different attack position. Her compound eyes tracked Hanna's position from every angle. This was what she had trained for. No surprise attacks could work when you could see everything at once. She dove down from above, all 4 arms striking simultaneously. Her enhanced brain calculated impact points with mathematical precision. Her acid-loaded spit glands prepared to fire. Hanna looked up at the diving insect warrior. For just a moment, their eyes met. Yexera saw something in those human eyes that made her hesitate. Not fear, not desperation, just awareness. Complete, perfect awareness of everything happening around them. In that tiny moment of hesitation, Hannah moved. She dropped low, below Yexera's 4 striking arms. The insect warrior's attack pattern was designed for an opponent who would try to block or dodge to the side. But Hannah went down instead. As Yexera passed overhead, Hannah reached up and grabbed 2 of her legs, not to stop her, but to help her along. Hannah used Yexera's own flying momentum to spin her around and redirect her flight path. Yexera found herself flying straight toward the arena wall. Her enhanced reflexes tried to correct course, but it was too late. She hit the metal barrier with tremendous force. The impact was so hard that cracks appeared in the reinforced wall. Yexera's own acid spit, meant for Hannah, splashed back onto her carapace as she fell. The chemical began eating through her armor-like skin. She hit the ground unconscious. 15 seconds, announced the timekeeper. The crowd was beginning to understand that something unexpected was happening. The cheering had stopped. The laughter was gone. Aliens throughout the stadium stared in shock. "How is this possible?" whispered the Altarian Emperor. Thalma stood up, pushing Crixvan away from him. His crystal body glowed with anger. This human was making him look foolish in front of the entire galaxy. Time to end this with overwhelming force. He activated his gravity manipulation at full power. The air around Hannah began to shimmer and distort. Gravity fields focused on her position, trying to crush her down into the arena floor. The metal beneath her feet began to buckle under the enormous pressure. "Let us see you redirect gravity itself," Thalma said, his voice echoing like breaking glass. For a moment, it looked like his attack was working. Hannah seemed to struggle against the intense gravitational force. Her knees bent under the pressure. She was being forced down toward the ground. But then something strange happened. Instead of fighting the gravity, Hannah seemed to accept it. She let herself be pulled down, and then used that downward momentum to launch herself forward. She moved, like a slingshot, using Thalma's own gravity field to accelerate herself directly at him. She flew through the air faster than any normal human could move. Thalma tried to change his gravity field, tried to push her away instead of pulling her down. But gravity manipulation took concentration and time, and he had neither. Hannah reached him before he could react. Her grandfather's old gloves touched 3 specific points on his crystalline body. They looked like gentle taps, nothing more. But Hannah had spent 2 hours the night before studying crystal formation patterns in the station's library. She knew exactly where the stress points were in diamond-like structures. Thalma's perfect crystal skin began to crack. Tiny fractures spread from where Hannah had touched him. The cracks grew larger and larger. Following the natural fault lines in his crystalline structure, his gravity field collapsed as he lost concentration. He fell to his knees, his diamond body spiderwebbed with fractures. 22 seconds, called the timekeeper. Crixvan was back on his feet. His cybernetic systems fully operational again. His computer brain analyzed what had just happened, and reached an impossible conclusion. This human was faster than his enhanced reflexes. "Not possible," he hissed through his poison glands. "I am enhanced beyond organic limits." He charged again, but this time he activated every enhancement at once. Poison sprayed from his throat glands. His claws glowed with energy fields. His cybernetic muscles pushed him to maximum speed. He came at Hannah like a living weapon, everything the finest alien technology could create. Hannah waited until the last possible second. Then she did something that made the watching galaxy gasp in amazement. She caught his wrist again, but this time, instead of redirecting his momentum, she moved with it. She spun around, using his own enhanced speed to build rotation. For a moment, they moved together like dancers. Then Hannah completed the spin and released him. Crixvan's cybernetic enhancements, designed to make him unstoppable, became his downfall. His enhanced momentum sent him flying across the arena with incredible force. He hit the far wall so hard that his cybernetic implants overloaded and sparked. Electricity danced across his scales as his enhancement systems failed one by one. He collapsed in a smoking heap, his perfect cybernetic body reduced to a pile of broken technology. 27 seconds, announced the timekeeper. The arena fell completely silent. All three alien champions lay unconscious or incapacitated on the arena floor. Crixfan's cybernetics sparked and failed. Thalmar's crystal body was covered in cracks. Yexera was unconscious against the wall, her own acid still eating through her a PACE, and in the center of it all stood Hannah, barely breathing hard. She looked exactly the same as when the fight had started. No injuries, no exhaustion, no signs of strain. She had defeated 3 enhanced super warriors in less than 30 seconds, and she had done it without throwing a single punch or kick. Winner, Lee Hannah. Arena Director Quoteth announced, his voice shaking with disbelief. The silence stretched on for several more seconds. Then, slowly, sound returned to the arena. It started with the humans. They began to clap, quietly at first, then louder. The applause spread through the alien sections, but it was different now. Not the excited cheering from before the fight. This was the sound of beings who had witnessed something they did not understand. In his viewing booth, Master Vexstar stared at the arena floor with all 4 eyes wide open. 3 years, he whispered. 3 years of perfect preparation. How did she know? How did she see what we could not? Down in the arena, medical teams rushed to help the fallen champions. They were alive but badly hurt. It would take weeks to repair Crixfan's, months to heal Thalmar's crystalline structure. Yexera would recover. But she would never forget the lesson she had learned today. Hannah walked calmly toward the exit tunnel. Reporters tried to surround her, but Captain Jimin and Commander Daeho kept them back. "Miss Lee, how did you win so quickly?" shouted a reporter. "What was your secret strategy?" Called another. Hannah paused at the tunnel entrance and looked back at the arena. "There was no secret," she said simply. "I just paid attention." Then she disappeared into the tunnel, leaving behind an arena full of beings who were beginning to understand that they had seriously underestimated humanity. The fight was over, but the real shock was just beginning. The medical bay of the space station was chaos. Emergency teams worked on 3 broken champions, while news reporters filled every hallway. Doctors from dozens of worlds tried to understand what had gone wrong. Crixfan lay on a repair table while technicians tried to fix his cybernetic systems. Sparks flew from damaged implants. His enhanced muscles twitched randomly as computer chips failed throughout his body. The trauma was not from impact damage, the lead doctor explained to Master. His own momentum was redirected back into his cybernetic frame. The enhancement systems could not handle the stress they were designed to create. Thalmar was in worse condition. His crystal body looked like a broken window. Fractures ran through his diamond skin in perfect patterns. Alien scientists studied the cracks with amazement. "These stress points," one scientist said, "they follow the exact weak spots in crystalline formation. How did the human know where to strike? She only touched him for a fraction of a second." Yexera was unconscious, but stable. Her own acid had burned through parts of her carapace before the medical team could neutralize it. Her 4 arms were wrapped in healing bandages. The trajectory was perfect, her doctor reported. She was thrown into the wall at precisely the right angle to cause maximum damage while avoiding fatal injury. As if someone calculated the exact force needed. Master Vexstar stood in the middle of the medical bay, surrounded by the wreckage of his 3-year plan. His greatest students, enhanced beyond natural limits, had been defeated by a small human woman in less than 30 seconds. "Impossible," he kept repeating. "We studied her every move. We prepared for every technique. We made them perfect." But perfection, he was beginning to realize, was not enough in another part of the station. The real questions were being asked. Captain Jimin stood before a crowd of galactic news reporters. Behind him, Commander Daeho prepared data files on portable screens. They had been waiting for this moment for 3 years. "Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all classifications," Jimin began. "I know you have questions about what you just witnessed." A Vorthan reporter raised her crystalline hand. "Captain Jimin, How did Lee Hannah defeat 3 enhanced warriors so quickly? What technology did she use? No technology, Jimin replied simply. She used something much more dangerous. The reporters leaned forward. They expected to hear about secret human enhancements, hidden weapons, or advanced combat drugs. She used her mind, Jimin continued. And that is what makes humans truly dangerous. A Sarok reporter hissed with frustration. Impossible. Krixvan's cybernetic brain could process information faster than any organic mind. Commander Daeho stepped forward. That is exactly the problem. You enhanced your champions to be faster, stronger, and more durable, but you made them predictable. He activated a holographic display showing the fight from different angles. Watch Krixvan's attack pattern. His cybernetic brain calculated the optimal strike based on his enhanced speed and strength. But optimal for a machine is not optimal. For fighting a human, the replay showed Krixvan's charge in slow motion. His path was perfectly straight, his speed perfectly consistent, his attack perfectly calculated. Hannah did not try to be faster than his cybernetics, Daeho explained. She simply moved to where his perfect calculation could not reach her. Then she used his own perfection against him. The crowd of reporters began to understand. Enhancement had made the alien champions powerful, but it had also made them mechanical. Predictable. A Mandrak reporter buzzed her question in insect language. A translator converted it to galactic standard. But surely, Yexera's compound eyes could see all possible escape routes. Yes, Jimin agreed. She could see everything at once. But seeing is not understanding. Yexera saw Hannah move downward, but her enhanced brain was programmed to expect sideways, dodging, or upward jumping. She could not adapt to unexpected movement patterns fast enough. Dr. Juye joined the press conference, carrying her medical scanner. I examined Hannah immediately after the fight, she announced. No cybernetic enhancements. No genetic modifications. No performance drugs. She is completely, naturally human. The alien reporters looked confused. How could natural ability defeat enhancement? That is the point, Dr. Juye continued. Enhancement improves specific abilities, but it also creates limitations. Cybernetic reflexes respond faster than organic ones, but they respond in programmed ways. Genetic modifications make bodies stronger, but they make behavior patterns more rigid. She gestured to her scanner readings. Hannah's completely organic brain could process not just what was happening, but what was about to happen. She read the intentions behind the attacks, not just the attacks themselves. From the back of the crowd, a small human reporter asked the question everyone was thinking. If humans are so dangerous, why did Hannah's previous fights take much longer? The room fell silent. This was the question that would change everything. Jimin smiled, because she was holding back. The alien reporters exploded with noise. Questions were shouted in dozens of languages. Camera drones buzzed around like angry insects. Tournament rules required safety measures, Jimin explained over the chaos. Fighters had to give opponents time to surrender. Matches were designed for entertainment, not elimination. Hannah had to make her fights look competitive. Commander Daeho brought up recordings of Hannah's previous matches. Look at this fight from 6 months ago. She defeats a Kroken Battlemaster, but it takes 12 minutes. Now watch her movement patterns. The replay showed Hannah moving more slowly, pausing between attacks, allowing her opponent time to recover and continue fighting. She was acting, Daeho revealed, making the fights entertaining for spectators. Today, there were no entertainment requirements, no safety restrictions, no rules requiring her to hold back. The implications hit the galactic community like a shockwave. Are you saying, asked the Altarian news director, that humans have been pretending to be weaker than they are? Not weaker, Jimin corrected. Just, more polite. In her quarters, Hannah sat quietly with Minho and Dr. Juye. She had changed into comfortable clothes and was reading her grandfather's journal again. The whole galaxy is talking about you, Minho told her. They want to understand how you did it. Hannah looked up from her book, I did nothing special. I just paid attention to what was really happening. But they enhanced themselves for 3 years, Dr. Juye pointed out. They studied your every move. They studied recordings, Hannah said. Recordings of fights where I was being careful not to hurt anyone badly. They prepared to fight someone who was holding back. Today, I did not hold back. She returned to her reading. Grandfather wrote that the greatest victory is won before the battle begins, not through superior strength, but through superior understanding. Minho sat down beside her. What did you understand that they did not? Hannah was quiet for a moment. They thought fighting was about being better than your opponent. Faster, stronger, more durable. But fighting is about adaptation. About seeing what your opponent cannot see. About being present in the moment, instead of following a plan. She showed them a passage in her grandfather's journal. He wrote, "The rigid tree breaks in the storm. The flexible reed bends and survives. Be like water, which defeats stone not through hardness, but through patience and understanding." Dr. Juye shook her head in amazement. 3 years of enhancement and training, defeated by ancient wisdom. Not defeated by wisdom, Hannah corrected. Defeated by their own assumptions about what strength means. Across the galaxy, the news of the fight spread faster than light speed. Communication could carry it. On thousands of worlds, beings who had dismissed humanity as weak and lucky began to reconsider. In military academies, alien strategists studied the recordings and reached disturbing conclusions. If one unenhanced human could defeat 3 perfect warriors so easily, what could a human army do? In research facilities, scientists began new projects. Not to enhance their own species, but to understand how human minds worked. How did they process information so quickly without cybernetic assistance? How did they adapt so rapidly to unexpected situations? In government chambers, representatives asked new questions. Should humanity be invited to join more galactic organizations? Should they be feared instead of ignored? The betting houses faced their worst day in galactic history. The 1,000-to-1 odds against Hannah had bankrupted several major operations. No one had predicted this outcome, but the most important change was happening in the minds of individual beings across the galaxy. They had seen something impossible become possible. They had watched their assumptions about strength and enhancement proven completely wrong. Master Vextar sat alone in his chamber, reviewing the fight recording for the 100th time. His 3 perfect students had been defeated by principles he had never considered. Preparation, he whispered to himself. I thought I understood preparation. But now he realized there were different kinds of preparation. His students had prepared their bodies and enhanced their abilities. The human had prepared her mind and understanding. As the station's lights dimmed for the night cycle, one thing became clear to everyone who had witnessed the fight. Humanity had just announced itself to the galaxy. Not as a weak species that got lucky, but as something far more dangerous. Something that could not be predicted, enhanced, or prepared for. Something that thought differently, and in a galaxy full of beings who solved problems through force and technology, different thinking was the most powerful weapon of all. The tournament was over. But humanity's real introduction to galactic society was just beginning.